moving up the table now to, that'll be Cavalry. Is that right?
That is correct.
It certainly is. It certainly is. It took me a second because I didn't have the standings open in front of me at the time. However, yes, Cavalry FC, the hottest team in the CPL in many respects. In August, they unbeaten in the entire month. They had a 5-game winning streak that started at the end of July, unable to see out a perfect August with that draw against Valor. Came very close to it, but not quite. And they have rocketed up the table. They were in 6th for quite a long time, as recently as match week 15, jumped all the way up the table. They are in much better position now. Mitch, is this just Cavalry looking like Cavalry after not that for the first few months of the year?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, for the first few months of the year and for this entire season, defensively, they've been stellar. They've been better even this year defensively than last year, and all the metrics. Conceded the fewest goals, fewest shots on target by a good amount. I think that's been really their foundation. But obviously, when you have so many attacking players either missing or not clicking on the same wavelength, which have both kind of been issues this season, then you're always, again, we've talked about it with Pacific, we've talked about it with so many other clubs. You need the goals to go along with strong defensive performances. So once they started getting those goals, you were always bound to go on a run like this, and we're starting to see them get those now. Obviously, staying healthy is going to be a big thing. Mile Henry just announcing that he's out for the season. William Akio already out. Tobias Warshevsky has missed the last few. So they're going to need other guys to step up and make sure that, Ali Musi, Lowell Wright, some of these guys are able to stay healthy through the end of the year. But again, it's been an incredible run for them recently, and it doesn't really show any signs of slowing down. And something Tommy Wheeldon Jr. has mentioned a lot about this Cavalry team this season is, in the way that they played earlier in all of those matches where goals were so valuable and they had to really, they weren't scoring 2, so they needed to shut up shop if they were scoring 1. Those are the kind of games that kind of take place over this last round of matches in the regular season and going into the playoffs as well. And they're really a team built for those 1-goal tight, cagey games where, they can get their moment of magic and then they can deny the other team. So, with the exception maybe of, like you mentioned, the set piece madness against Valor, this is a team just built for those final months of the season. And I think they're in a really good spot right now to go on and really push these top teams. And if not, find themselves in a great spot heading into a playoff season that they will be desperate to, finally win that CPL final.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it last year. They fully pulled away in the last month and a half of the season, ended up winning the league by 13 points. Who knows if there's a similar story in store here. But I mean, you mentioned a few names, and I think one of the keys for Cavalry and going on this run is simply just that their best players have been on the pitch more. Ali Musi, obviously, we've spoken about him a ton, but as soon as he came back off the bench in that Ottawa game, scored twice. He's been excellent ever since for them. Even Bradley Camden, I think, has been underratedly very, very good for Cavalry after he missed some time with injury. And these players coming back is making the players that have been there the whole time better. Dan Klomp looks better with Eric Cobbs next to him again. Fraser Aird looks better with Ali Musi in front of him. And it's hard for him to look much better because he has already been, he'd probably been their best player so far this season, Fraser Aird. He's been outstanding at all times. But when you see them with those players that they click with, Musi and Fraser Aird, Tommy Wheeldon Jr. called them the best duo in the CPL on Friday night. And I don't think he's wrong about that. He also mentioned that Sergio Camargo coming in there, though. Him and Musi also have an incredible connection and did in that game as well. And Camargo a little bit, maybe not quite, fully up to speed to the same level as Musi and Aird at the moment, because he's been in and out of the lineup with injury. But if he's healthy now and he's coming in, he's continuing to click, things looking better in Cavalry, especially with Camargo able to slot right back into that spot where Mile Henry, unfortunately, is going to miss out. But keep an eye on Cavalry in the next few weeks, because their next 3 games are against the other 3 teams in the top 4. They're away at Forge on Saturday. That's going to be a huge game for both teams. Then they host Atletico Ottawa, and then it's back to Ontario on Friday, September 20th, to play against York United. So the title race could take some major turns over the next few weeks to begin September.